What's going on, guys? This is the Red Rogue and I hope you're all doing well today. I know I am because the first build for the 905 PTR is available for testing, and there's been a lot of big news surrounding it. I plan on covering as much PTR stuff as I can over the next coming weeks, but I decided to start with something that was highly expected and anticipated by a fair number of the community: the return of Valor points. So this video will probably be a bit shorter than normal, as there isn't a whole lot of information on the Valor point system yet, though I plan on covering it further in depth in the future. For those who haven't heard yet, the first build of patch 905 has made its way onto the public test realm, and with it has already begun a slew of Covenant ability tuning, conduit tuning, and legendary tuning. While all of this is great to hear and see, the return of Valor points takes the spotlight out of all of these changes in my opinion. More or less, Valor points will be used for the PvE equivalent of Conquest points being used to increase the item level of your gear. This currency will be earned from completing Mythic Plus dungeons and from completing Covenant callings. The upgrading process can only be performed on Mythic Plus gear, and the item level you can upgrade a piece to will vary based on your progress in completing keystones. This information is still very up in the air and subject to change, what with it being literally a brand new system from just a couple days ago, but initially your gear can be upgraded to a cap of 200 item level. Once you've completed every Shadowlands dungeon on level 5 or higher, you'll earn the newly made Keystone Explorer achievement. Earning this increases the cap to 207 for upgrades. Upon completion of the Keystone Conqueror achievement, which is all completed in times at plus 10 or higher, you'll be able to upgrade to 213. Lastly, earning the coveted Keystone Master achievement brings your upgrade cap to 220 item level. The upgrade cost is currently and supposedly going to vary based on the item slot, and the value will not change based on the item level. What I presume this means is that your larger and more important pieces like weapons, trinkets, and higher stat value gear will cost substantially more than upgrading rings, bracers, etc. Currently on the PTR from my own scrounging around, and at the time of recording this, I haven't found the upgrade vendor just yet. It may end up on there by the time this video is posted, and if so, I'll try to add some extra information in the pinned comment I always leave on my videos. Oh, and I nearly forgot. I expected as much when I foresaw the introduction of this currency, but there is a weekly cap on how much you can earn, which is unsurprising. So currently, that's what we know about the Valor point system and the process that goes into it. So what do I think of this initial groundwork for the future potential of Mythic Plus? This is, to me at least, a fantastic step in the right direction to evening out the importance of dungeon loot, especially once you reach the point where your only true chance at a compelling upgrade was from the weekly Great Vault. While I entirely understand and expect players that perform various forms of higher level content to get geared faster, there comes a time for Mythic Plus where without PvPing at a reasonable level or clearing Mythic raids, that your chance of getting even a single item level increase each week is pretty low. I also think that, given how sparse loot rewards can be from the end of a Mythic Plus dungeon, that this will make even lesser pieces of gear desirable to hold onto, as you can get your best statted piece of gear and upgrade it over time, helping negate a portion of the RNG that goes into gear upgrades. However, and this is a big however, I'm concerned at the rate at which they'll let us acquire Valor points and how much each upgrade's going to cost. Given that even a smooth, well-performing group will take at least 30 or so minutes to do most dungeons, I'd like to believe our time invested will result in a relative gain of Valor points that's appropriate. This is where a lot of the time gating and balance of the system will boil down to, as having the ability to upgrade your gear is great, but if it takes 2 weeks to upgrade a piece a single time, even if you were to cap your Valor for the week each time, then that would feel really unimpressive. It also begs the question to exactly how much in item level will your gear go up each time you spend Valor to upgrade it. Given that they've already stated there will be an upgrade maximum increase for each achievement that you unlock, and it's 200, 207, 213, and then 220, I would assume it's probably going to be 6 or 7 item levels each time, though it could be as low as 3 or 4, which almost sounds more Blizzard-like of them to do in my opinion. Now, the biggest elephant in the room outside of the last couple things that I've mentioned, and a few other people have already commented on this, is the fact that Mythic Plus gear is still noticeably lower than both higher PvP and Mythic rating, even after achieving the highest Keystone achievement in the game for the season. The argument still goes into Mythic Plus being far more repeatable than rating, however, PvP is equally repeatable and results in greater rewards. Being as unbiased as possible, I've heard arguments on both sides saying which form of content is harder and for what reason. However, I think that until each method of gearing results in a proportionally equal item level end result, there will always be a sour taste in the fact that X content results in better gear faster, or Y content shouldn't need to be done to progress in Z content faster, etc. While I think Blizzard's pretty set in their ways that Mythic Raid end bosses should always give the most of the highest level loot in the game possible, I do think a little bit of ground needs to be given on Mythic Plus due to its popularity and its importance to the livelihood of the game. I plan on leaving as much feedback as possible on this new system as more information is given out and more testing can be done on it, but I would really like to see Mythic Plus have some way of getting the same item level potential as PvP, especially since you have to rely 100% on luck and brute force repetition to get your best statted piece of gear. Wishful thinking, but I and many other folks would like to see a 233 weapon option be available and 226 being the cap of the gear, but that does kinda get in the way with the weekly vault also giving 226 gear as its maximum reward. But with the system being incredibly new, there is still time for changes and alterations to be made to how it'll function. I'm really excited to see what they do with the Valor point system as well as the future of Mythic Plus in Shadowlands, plus all the other cool features that should be coming out with the 905 build as more of it's added to the PTR. I'll do my best to keep you folks up to date and give you input and feedback on as much of it as I can, so let me know what you think of it in the comments below. And if you ended up liking this video then, please consider leaving a comment, a like, or sharing it with other folks, as it's all really appreciated and helps a lot with the channel's growth. As always, I just wanted to extend my gratitude to you, my viewers, commenters, subscribers, and especially my patrons, who all help make these Shiba Shenanigans possible. Thank you all so much for watching. This is the Red Rogue, and I'll see you guys around.